This month in history, February. Hey Crash, today marks the second installment of our monthly mini-series, This Month in History.
The excitement is overwhelming.
In case you guys missed the first video, in this series we take a look at a bunch of events throughout history that occurred in a given month. Today we'll be discussing all that occurred in February, so grab the posters, Crash. There are a ton of facts ahead of us.
Ugh, fine.
Come on, Crash, get out here. Crash! Alright, fine. I'll just have to show the people at home this embarrassing photo of you I found on one of your old MySpace profiles.
Fuck! February 1st!
In 1964, the Beatles have their first #1 hit in the United States with I Want to Hold Your Hand. In 2008, 2 suicide bombings occur in Baghdad, Iraq, killing 98 and injuring 2008.
February 2nd!
In 1933, 2 sisters, Christine and Leah Papin, work as maids, murder their employer's wife and daughter in Le Mans, France. The case is the subject of a number of French films and plays. In 2004, Swiss tennis player Roger Federer becomes the #1 ranked men's singles player, a position he holds for a record 237 weeks.
February 3rd!
In 1972, the 7-day 1972 Iran blizzard begins, which kills at least 4,000 people, making it the deadliest snowstorm in history.
Ooh, those figures are chilling! Yeah, that one was pretty uncalled for.
In 1984, John Buster and his research team at Harbor UCLA Medical Center announced history's first embryo transfer from one woman to another, resulting in a live birth.
February 4th.
In 1703, in Edo, now Tokyo, 46 of the 47 Ronin commit ritual suicide as part of the Samurai Code of Honor, avenging their master's death. In 2004, Facebook, a mainstream online social networking site, is founded by Mark Zuckerberg.
February 5th.
In 1971, astronauts land on the moon in the Apollo 14 mission. In 1997, the so-called Big Three banks in Switzerland announced the creation of a $71 million fund to aid Holocaust survivors and their families.
February 6th.
In 1958, 8 Manchester United Football Club players and 15 other passengers are killed in the Munich air disaster. In 1988, Michael Jordan makes his signature slam dunk from the free throw line, inspiring Air Jordan and the Jumpman logo.
That's easy though, even I can do that. Watch this! Oh! February 7th!
In 1935, the classic board game Monopoly is invented. In 1940, the second full-length animated Walt Disney film, Pinocchio, premieres. In 1995, Ramzi Youssef, the mastermind of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, is arrested in Islamabad, Pakistan.
February 8th!
In 1952, Elizabeth II is proclaimed Queen of the United Kingdom. In 1960, the first 8 brass star plaques are installed in the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
February 9th!
In 1895, William G. Morgan creates a game called Mintonet, which soon comes to be referred to as volleyball. In 1942, year-round daylight saving time is reinstated in the United States as a wartime measure to help conserve energy resources. In 1942, Glenn Miller received the first ever gold record for selling 1 million copies of his song, Chattanooga Choo Choo. In 1996, the IBM supercomputer Deep Blue defeats Russian chess grandmaster Garry Kasparov in chess for the first time.
February 11th. I think I'm okay now.
In 1978, China lifts a ban on works by Aristotle, William Shakespeare, and Charles Dickens. In 1990, Nelson Mandela is released from Victor Verster prison outside Cape Town, South Africa, after 27 years as a political prisoner.
February 12th.
In 1851, Edward Hargreaves announced that he has found gold in Bathurst, Australia, starting the Australian gold rushes. In 1993, 2-year-old James Bolger is abducted from a shopping centre by 2 10-year-old boys who torture and murder him. In 1994, 4 men break into the National Gallery of Norway to steal Edvard Munch's iconic painting, The Scream.
February 13th.
In 1880, Thomas Edison observes the Edison effect. In 1961, an allegedly 500,000-year-old rock is discovered in Olanka, California, US, that appears to anachronistically encase a spark plug.
February 14th!
In 1849, in New York City, James Knox Polk becomes the first serving president of the United States to have his photograph taken. In 2005, YouTube is launched by a group of college students, eventually becoming the largest video sharing website in the world and a main source for viral videos.
Once again, Culture, you have managed to overload our viewers with information. I think we need to talk about life and death again.
You know, I'm still debating whether or not that segment is...
Here are some notable people who were born in February. Tech entrepreneur Steve Jobs, musician Ed Sheeran, soccer player Cristiano Ronaldo.
Crash, can we just...
And here are some notable people who unfortunately passed away in February. Spiritual leader Gandhi, cloned mammal Dolly the fucking sheep, singer Whitney Houston. God bless that beautiful voice.
I swear, if you cut me off one more time, I'll show everybody the... Alright, that does it. Everyone feast your eyes on this.
Fuck this! Fuck you, culture! This is the end!
Now that sounds like something you would have said back then.
Why, cruel world? Why must I live on in this orange hellhole?
Crash, just say your line.
Okay. February 15th.
In 1879, US President Rutherford B. Hayes signs a bill allowing female attorneys to argue cases before the Supreme Court of the United States. In 1992, serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer was sentenced in Milwaukee to life in prison.
February 16th.
In 1968, in Haleyville, Alabama, the first 911 emergency telephone system goes into service. In 1992, LA Lakers retire Magic Johnson's number 32 uniform.
February 17th, baby.
In 1996, in Philadelphia, world champion Garry Kasparov beats the Deep Blue supercomputer in a chess match.
An unexpected redemption.
In 2014, The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon premieres on NBC.
February 18th, motherfucker!
In 1930, Elm Farm Ollie becomes the first cow to fly in a fixed-wing aircraft, and also the first cow to be milked in an aircraft. In 2001, FBI agent Robert Hansen is arrested for spying for the Soviet Union, being convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment.
February 19th.
In 1981, George Harrison is ordered to pay ABKCO Music $587,000 for subconscious plagiarism. In 1985, William J. Schroeder becomes the first recipient of an artificial heart to leave hospital.
February 20th.
In 1943, American movie studio executives agree to allow the Office of War Information to censor movies. In 1960, Jimi Hendrix, rock and roll guitarist, plays his first gig. In 2013, the smallest extrasolar planet, Kepler 37b, is discovered.
February 21st.
In 1947, in New York City, Edwin Land demonstrates the first instant camera, the Polaroid Land camera, to a meeting of the Optical Society of America. In 1952, the British government, under Winston Churchill, abolishes identity cards in the UK to set the people free. In 1965, Malcolm X is assassinated at the Audubon Ballroom in New York City.
February 22nd.
In 1974, Samuel Bike tries and fails to assassinate US President Richard Nixon. In 2006, at least 6 men staged Britain's biggest robbery, stealing £53 million or $92.5 million from a Securitas depot in Tonbridge, Kent.
Yo, it's February 23rd!
In 1999, Eminem releases his first major record album, the Slim Shady LP. In 2010, unknown criminals pour more than 2.5 million litres of diesel oil and other hydrocarbons into the River Lambro in northern Italy, sparking an environmental disaster.
February 24th.
In 1920, the Nazi Party is founded as a political party in Germany. In 1999, the US state of Arizona executes Karl Legrand, a German national convicted of murder during a botched bank robbery, in spite of Germany's legal action to attempt to save him.
February 25th.
In 1862, paper currency, known as greenbacks, were introduced in the United States by President Abraham Lincoln. In 1932, Austrian immigrant Adolf Hitler gets German citizenship.
February 26th.
In 1983, Michael Jackson's Thriller album goes #1 and stays #1 for 37 weeks. In 1998, Oprah Winfrey is found not guilty in her beef defamation trial brought by Texas cattlemen after making disparaging comments on her talk show.
February 27th.
In 1991, singer James Brown is released from prison. In 2007, the Shanghai Stock Exchange falls 9%, the largest drop in 10 years.
February 28th.
In 1933, German President Paul von Hindenburg abolishes free expression of opinion. In 1983, the final episode of MASH airs, with a record of 125 million people watching live in the US.
I fucking hate you, culture. I mean, February 29th.
In 1988, New York City Mayor Ed Koch calls President Ronald Reagan a wimp in the war on drugs. In 2008, Misha de Fonseca admits to fabricating her memoir, Misha, a memoir of the Holocaust years, in which she claimed to have lived with a pack of wolves in the woods during the Holocaust.
As if people couldn't figure that shit out for themselves anyway.
Well, there you have it. The February edition of This Month in History is all done and dusted. We hope you've learned something new about the month. And if not, just take a look at this.
For fuck's sake, stop showing that to everyone!